Hi everyone, I am Sinchan Mishra, and let me introduce you all through a quick introduction. Most of you are aware of the company MyGate. I started my professional journey from MyGate. I was the first engineering intern there, and then I built a company of my own, which is called Fido. It has over 210,000 users with over 4.8 ratings. And then I played a role as research and development lead at a Hyderabad-based company called Cognitive Ethics. It makes e-learning platform for autistic and neurodivergent kids, and that was my first step into the world of AI and also into the world of mm, education and children welfare. And then I started my own company, which is CurioBit. CurioBit is world's first AI book, and we also have patents. I'm myself the author of multiple patents which deal with agentic AI algorithms and all. So yeah, my today's topic is responsible screen time in kids. It is a modern necessity. Why do I say responsible screen time? Uh, too much of engagement with the screen actually it leads to a lot of factors. Most importantly, the children they get disconnected from the real world, and if you keep them completely away from the screen, then they won't be updated with the technologies of today's world. So how do we exactly balance that? How do we exactly, like it is a burning topic, how do we exactly ensure that the children they are still connected to the real world and also simultaneously they are uh, also updated with all the modern technologies? How do we exactly ensure that? So that is how I have come to the topic responsible screen time in kids. I have also extensively worked on it, which I will be declaring at the end of the session. But yeah, let's start. And this whole thing of being addicted to the screen, it was always there ever since the smartphone era came in, but it got triggered during the COVID. So once we saw that the classrooms they started happening online, the interactions started happening online, people stopped connecting with other people, children, they started meeting their relatives online on the video call and all. So that is what further exacerbated the situation. And this whole thing, the need of responsible screen time, has shot up tremendously since the COVID. So the average screen time has doubled, and back then it was a necessity, like to attend classrooms online, to have fun sessions online, to communicate with relatives online. But right now it has become a habit. People often prefer, even if they are in the same city, they often prefer just video calling to each other on a birthday rather than actually going and visiting. So this is how not just kids, everyone is slowly getting disconnected from the real world. And also one of the most triggering factors of this is the short form social media content like TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, etc. I do have a data backing me. So as per Economic Times, during in India alone, the children aged between 5 to 15, the screen time has shot up by 100% during the first phase of COVID itself and during the first phase of lockdown. And just imagine it was an extended, like lasting up to three lockdowns. So it became worse after that. So yeah, let's go on to the next topic. Now, why is this a problem? Because the more a person, not just kid, the more a person is addicted to the screen, the sleep is hampered, and uh, like if you are completely connected to the screen, you don't have to give interactions to the screen by talking to the screen or to talking to the device, right? So that also hampers in the speech. Okay, so if you stop communicating in kids, especially when it is the time to learn and grow, if they stop communicating to real people, then there are speech delays. And in extreme cases, it may also lead to virtual autism, which is quite dangerous because we are talking about people who aren't born with neurodivergent traits, but they acquire them due to their habits. And one of the leading cause of that is screen time addiction. So you don't want to enter there. I do also have a statistic to support myself. As per NDTV, a study found that each additional hour of daily screen time in young children was associated with 9 to 10% lower odds of higher academic scores. More they are addicted to the screen, the probability of them being academically active decreases. Now, let's see what is the role of digital devices. Everything is like anything related to screen is digital itself. Even as basic as watch. Okay. There was a time when we switched from analog watch to digital watch, and the digital watch was still analog as per today's generation of smartwatches. So yeah, digital devices, like they aren't exactly the villain. They got introduced to the whole world only because of the sole reason that they have simplified the life. They have shortened distance between people. They have made assessing the accessibility of information far more easy, far easier. But they are not the exact villains. If you don't know how to use them, the unstructured use of the digital devices, that is what causes the real issue. And the goal is always that you have, like, see, internet has good uses and bad uses also. The same way, screen time, okay, you need to use it meaningfully and responsibly. And if it is used responsibly, then it gives boost to the whole new era of imaginations and creativity. Like the children who started watching cartoons or who started watching, who were exposed to Discovery Channel and National Geographic Channel on television from a very young age. And if they were got to see the right kind of episodes, the right kind of information they were exposed to, then their creativity increased a lot. Like I myself, when a kid, I watch more of National Geography and Discovery than I watch cartoons, and that really helped me. Like that, like I could understand the philosophy, the concept between how an hydraulic pump works, how an hydraulic machine works by the difference in fluid pressure. I could understand it from a very young age without even knowing that okay, this is what called an hydraulic pump, or this is what called an hydraulic machine. Without even knowing the terminology, I was able to understand the concept behind it. So yeah, it's good as well as it's bad. You should use it meaningfully. I also have a statistics to support it. Like each and every line I mention, it is supported by statistics. So the as per research, the systematic review found that screen time greater than 4 hours per day was associated with high risk of anxiety and also behavioral problems as well as ADHD. So ADHD is also a growing issue among the population in today's world, primarily led by their non-interaction with people around them, and that is being fueled by increasing screen time. So yeah, now let's talk the role of parents, teachers, and family. The biggest role in kids, parents have to play because yeah, in some cases in the cities, if we see, then kids spend more time with their teachers in the school than their parents if the parents are working especially. But yeah, for a general population from a larger mass, the parents play the biggest role, which is they need to define boundaries for the kids. And when the kids are actually viewing the content, they can encourage the kids by sitting with them and viewing the same content. So the kids always have an idea that okay, because this is good for me, my parent is also watching it. The next thing is we need to blend physical and digital learning. So the role of physical toys like cubes. So we see that okay, there are a lot of digital games where they stack cubes on top of each other, or this or they match saves. that which is star shape, which is triangle shape. But imagine a physical toy which in which you can enter that particular shape only inside that particular mold, only in the particular hole. So that when combined with digital learning, the combination is actually one of the best ways forward. And also families when they are getting together, instead of playing something which has to do with screen, they can also try something in which real world interaction, like face to face interactions, is more involved. We don't actually, the thing is, we don't see kids looking up into the sky and trying to draw drawings, trying to predict, okay, this cloud looks like a dragon, that cloud looks like a tree. We don't see it anymore. We used to do it. I used to do that, but nowadays, no one does it. None of the kids, not even the adults do it. And yeah, that's a bit sad to see. But yeah, that is where the world is proceeded towards. Uh, so yeah, as I said, each of the thing is supported by one statistics. The statistics is 37% of Australian parents reported that relaxing screen time restrictions during COVID-19, and they increased more rules. During COVID-19, they actually relaxed the screen time and they kind of imposed more rules on what to see, what not to see, all those. Now we need to rethink the education. That okay, like the role of education, how to now. So in kids, we have seen that the good practices, like the good habits. Okay, when you wake up, you need to say good morning. When you go to bed, you need to say good night. Please, sorry. These are taught in good practices, right? But are we exactly taught how to properly use the screen? No, not at all. That is what needs to be taught now, because that is the need of the hour, where the bridge between there is like almost non-existent gap between what is the real world and what is virtual world. And we actually see more and more people being invested in the virtual world than in the real world. This is the high time we need to introduce curriculum on how to behave with the screens. And we can also conduct exercises to teach self-control and critical thinking. And we also need to blend in tech literacy with emotional intelligence. Why do I say emotional intelligence? Because interacting with a machine, interacting with a software is monotonous. Only in real world human interactions you get the emotional contact. And that is what is slowly being diluted. So we need to exactly blend tech literacy with emotional intelligence when I say it. For example, let's say if you are aware of a tech, if you are aware of how the how let's say a tablet works or how a particular sensor works, you can use the same sensor to detect the air quality or to detect the water quality of a particular area, which is not so privileged. So the thought of using that sensor to detect the air or water quality at an area which is not so privileged, the thought itself comes if the kid is emotionally mature to think about the people of that area. So that is exactly what I mean when I say you need to blend in emotional intelligence with tech literacy. And again, the statistics to support it by UK Parliament. So this is a report from UK Parliament. The UK Parliamentary Review found that for children aged 5 to 15, an average weekly online time rose from 9 hours in 2009 to 15 hours in 2018. Okay, that's a lot of increase. And we are still talking about 2018, which is 2 years before the COVID, mm, just before the social media boom, Instagram, Snapchat boom. So yeah, now let's go on to the next slide. What is the way forward? Uh, Again, repeating the same thing, screen mindfulness. And so there is one thing that, so let's say, when do you actually get the prize? We see a lot of online certifications like this. I am telling with respect to the real professional world out there. You just click next, 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 and you receive a certificate. That is more of you are being rewarded for just consumption. Okay, you are just rewarded for consumption of a content. Or let's say that the issue with traditional form of exams that they consume the source of knowledge, a piece of information, and then they attend the exam around it. Okay, so that kind of thing is based on knowledge consumption. And when they are attending the exam, they are doing well, we are rewarding them for knowledge consumption. What do we mean by rewarding them for creation? Let's say they invented a new thing. They did a new nice piece of art where, just like Tare Zameen Par, if you people have seen the movie, the stars come into the lake, onto the earth. So if they are actually able to create content instead of just consuming it, the creation of the content should be rewarded more. Higher reward should be placed there. That is exactly important in today's world of AI because as we see AI and taking over the whole space of employment, the whole space of education, the people who have the ability to create something of their own only they stand the chance. So it's high time we reward creation over consumption of content. And also digital responsibility culture that obviously comes from parents, from teachers, from everyone around, from the schools, from everyone. So yeah, I guess I also have a piece of information around it. So so in a study by an India-based NGO, they found that the children who were given activities to do after being taught something, they turned out to be 10 to 15% more creative in a given span of 2 or 3 weeks of the course than the students who were just made to content consume day in and day out. So yeah, practical implementation and actually bringing out your own creativity to create something new that actually matters. So yeah, now let's come to the phase where I said earlier that I'll be describing on what I am doing for it. To beat screen time, because right now people have lost interest in books, right? Completely uninterested in books, even the kids. To beat that, I actually decided to make a book, to make Curio Bit. And this Curio Bit, the special thing about this is that it's just like any other encyclopedia out there. You can see really immersive, illustrative. Okay, okay. I guess I need to turn off the background blur.
Yes, please.
Cool.
Yeah, it's not clear. Yeah, now it's clear, sir.
Yeah, so you can see the books pages. It's really immersive and intuitive. It will make kids fall in love. So I decided to actually make a book out of it, a physical book. And as I said, mindful screen time. To support my own theory, I decided to uh, whoever buys the book actually gets a product activation key, a secret key, using which they will have the online access to the online software. Let me give you a glimpse of the online software. Just a second. Yeah, so this is how the online software looks like. As we can see, all the chapters of the book, they have their respective digital versions. But the thing which truly makes it interesting is the way how you can communicate with the whole system. So yeah, let me just give you a glimpse of it. I'm not means I'm just giving it the trigger and it is understanding and it is communicating. Let's say you want to speak something to it. I said right, people, the children, they are stopping to learn how to speak. So let's say you want to speak and you want to show the microphone. You want to open up the microphone. search about India. Let's say you want to hear it out. So yeah, you will be able to communicate with the whole of it just by using gestures. Here are the gestures. And not just that, when I say mindful screen time, so there are certain screen time practices like eye exercise, neck exercise, which you need to do to avoid eye strain, to avoid neck strain. So time to time exercises will pop up. If the child is not doing the exercise, then you won't be allowed to proceed. So this is, for example, the eye exercise. And only when I do it, it will detect and it will ask me to proceed. Right now it is green. So there is also the neck exercise part. It will pop up from every frequent interval. These exercises will pop up. And apart from that, I also claim that mm, I bring back the children to the real world, like the bridge between the real world and the virtual world. How do I do that? There are a lot of features. Out of them, one of the features is Curio Lens. So, like example here in Curio Lens, it is asking me, it is asking me, it is giving me a challenge that scan the page where there is a 10 rupees note. Okay. So here in my book, what we have done is that to extend the concept of languages, we have placed a 10 rupees note because in 10 rupees note there are all the Indian languages. So right now, because it knows that the book is opened by the student already, the kid already. So right now it will ask certain questions from the same book, from the same chapter, so that the kid has to actually start reading through it and start answering the questions. Now, let's say the kid answered everything correctly. And as I said, we need to reward, like incentivize the kid. So what happens after that is that we allow them to play certain game. For example, this is the Pac-Man game. So yeah, this is a Pac-Man game. And you could clearly see that it was being triggered by my neck movement. So the uh, you are having neck exercises and also you are being rewarded for actually going through the book and reading it. Both of them done simultaneously. So there are also other 3D games, immersive games out there. And yeah, you actually need to read the book. You actually need to reconnect with the real world. That is what the whole concept is about. Uh, this is my contribution to my theory of why the screen time is extremely, like mindful screen time, responsible screen time is extremely necessary. And a few milestones out there of CurioBit. We have published it, one patent already, two more patents are under research. CurioBit is also a registered trademark. This is the team. So yeah, as I already said about myself, and Natasha here, she is a CA. She takes care of marketing and finance. She is an MBA graduate from Boston University. Shruti here, the content is prepared by her. She is a child psychologist by profession from Ras. She did her MSc in psychology from Maharashtra Raksha University, and she has treated over 1,000 children across all profiles. There are some happy images, and yeah, this image of mine being awarded in Mumbai is very recent. It was on 8th November itself. And I was also there to represent government of Odisha at the IMC India Mobile Congress 2025. So here is me with Honorable IT and Health Minister of Odisha. And yeah, signs are good. Eurovit has does the right spot. It's solving the right kind of problem. Thanks all. That's all. I'll be stopping to present my screen now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sinchan. Very good topic, and Got to learn so much about AI from the younger generation, I would say. Um, I have prepared a couple of questions for you. Can you tell us about your journey as an entrepreneur and how you founded CurioBit?
Yeah, sure. So the okay, so Curobit has um this has been the okay, my entrepreneurial journey started way back in 2021 during COVID. In November 2021, I left MyGate to start my own company, which is Fido, and that is where my entrepreneurial journey started. And if I start saying about CurioBit, then there are two precise events which led to the CurioBit. They are independent events. One event is that the CurioBit, right? Uh, one of my friends, like he is elder to me, but I still consider him a good friend. And his son is actually neurodivergent. So screen is actually doing more harm to him than good. And I tried solving that problem. And the second thing is that once I went to Pondicherry. So I was in my lone wanderer travel kind of phase. I didn't book any hotels. Um, I didn't book any stay. I didn't book any tickets. I reached Pondicherry, and after reaching Pondicherry, I was going to the beach, and there I saw a very cute, tiny little house beside the beach. I went and asked if I can stay there, and that was a friend's family. They actually allowed me to stay, and that was a friend's family who recently they had traveled to India. So what happened is that since the French family had recently traveled to India, their children they didn't know any of the French, and I felt it was my duty to teach them something. So I quickly grabbed my laptop and I made a circling earth, a 3D model of earth and sun, and there was the light inside those. So I gave it to them to play. There were three kids, and three of them understood how day and night happens. So I was happy I was able to impart them the concept of day and night without any language, without any common language. And I went to sleep. The next morning, they were the ones to wake me up, that wake up, day is about to happen. At that point, I realized these three kids, they live in Pondicherry. Their home is right beside the beach. They see the sunrise daily, and they see the most beautiful sunrise out there. Sun directly coming from above the sea. And yet, today they are most excited to see the same sunrise. Why? Because right now they know the concept. Right now they are curious. And we need to satisfy the curiosity of the children. So this is what primarily led us to CurioBit. CurioBit actually is a bit of curiosity.
Yes. Okay, that's really nice. So, congratulations on creating an app with 4.8 ratings and 200,000 users. So, what was the key to its success?
The key to its success was that it was not the experience of the people involved, it was the vision.
Mhm.
So the like we started solve that was like 4.8 ratings and 2000 plus users. That is from my earlier venture, which is Fido. And the vision of Fido was to make people aware of uh, shopkeepers around them, the local shopkeepers, because people also need the local connect and not just go searching for brands. So because the vision was strong, the people resonated and they started downloading the app like anything, and we reached there.
Mhm. So, coming to the topic about responsible screen time in kids, what are some signs that a child is spending too much time on screens, and how can parents address this? I know you have covered these points, but like if you can throw more light on this.
So yeah, I'm not going to give superficial points. I'm going to give very basic points. The point which everyone notices is that Let's say kid is busy with the mobile phone or a tablet. You start calling out their name, they will not listen to you. They will continue doing whatever they are doing.
Right.
Yeah. This is the biggest thing. Okay. Once the kid reaches here, like let's say if you have a pet, let's say you have a dog, and the dog's name is Tommy. You call Tommy, the dog listens. But right now you have a kid who doesn't listen, irrespective of how much ever you call. The kid doesn't listen until his or her content or his or her brain is satisfied with consumption of the content. So that's a very dangerous space to be. And yeah, the way to avoid it is that start restricting the screen time. Not just start restricting it, start monitoring the what they are actually watching. Because if they are exposed to too much of short form media content like reels, YouTube shorts, etc., then that will actually lead to decreased attention span and also less connect with the real world. So yeah,
Right.
these are the basic points. Yeah.
So, what role should schools play, sir, in monitoring and regulating students' screen time?
The point number one is they need to teach the good screen time practices. The point number two is they need to give as much as offline activity as possible. Point number three is because right now there is a solution, theory of it,
Right.
and it is fast of its kind in the world, and it is actually targeting that particular phase where we are bridging the gap between the real world and virtual world in a responsible way. So the schools, they need to explore more and more things, more and more innovative solutions like the one Curio with.
Right. Of course, Curiobit is the AI book. But how do you think AI will change the way we read and interact with books in the future?
Uh, like AI has already changed it. We see all the apps. Like let me say you a very basic thing. Uh, you must have seen the apps which teaches alphabets to kids, right?
Mhm.
First, they will say what is A, what is B. Then they will ask to trace A and B on the same tablet itself, on the same screen itself. There, actually, the apps, they miss a point that lifelong the kid is not just going to trace on the screen itself. They need to reconnect with the real world, like they need to catch a pencil, a pen, a crayon, they need to catch it. The same thing is about AI. So you ask a question to, let's say, ChatGPT or Gemini, and it just throws the answer at you. You don't have to search, you don't have to scroll, you don't have to go to library. It saves you of all the hassle. While that actually is progressing the amount of knowledge human civilization is capable of knowing, like because let's say at the time of Newton, to access an information, you'll have to go to Oxford, a library at a distant city in your country or even a different country. People from far and wide, they used to come to Nalanda University to acquire that knowledge. So right now the information is available at fingertips. You just
Right.
have to search for it. While that has increased the boundaries of what human civilization in our current generation is capable of achieving, that simultaneously has led to more and more issues like decreasing patience. We don't want to wait for things anymore.
Right.
So yeah, one of the great things AI has done is to decrease the patience of human beings. But yeah, wherever the content consumption path is going, I am very much in line with it. If people started being more responsible about the use of AI.
So, coming back to Curiobit, sir, what role do you see Curiobit playing in shaping the future of human-computer interaction?
Well, see, there's a long-term vision and there's an immediate vision. You saw that in Curiobit, you are able to communicate with
This thing.
voice,
Right.
with gestures, anything. The base has been made in such a way that Like it's not there yet. The product is not there yet. But Purobit has been designed for accessibility. You can access the software, you can access the content through whatever interaction you want. You can do it. It is one of the world's first software to combine such complicated AI into a web browser which can work even on the most outdated Android phones. So complex AI will work, and this everything happens on the edge device itself. Like none of the data, your face, your image doesn't get sent to the server, your voice doesn't get sent to the server. Complete privacy is there. So, so that way, Curobit is a technical milestone in itself, which has made accessibility for everyone. And the second thing is that the the bridge between the machine and the real world, the digital world and real world. The gap has been joined through a bridge, which uh, is possible without even the need of any additional hardware. I don't have any additional sensors with me. I just have to allow the camera permission, which is already there in all the devices. I
Right.
don't, yeah. So it's actually a landmark thing. It is world's fastest software to achieve it.
Great. So that's all from my end, sir. School Journal of Education and schoolreformer.com. Thank you for the talk and for patiently answering all the questions. I know those were repetitive. You have covered all the information in your PPT itself. Anything else you want to mention before I end the session?
Well, I guess that's it. It was a really nice experience coming here, getting a platform, and being able to showcase my passion and my work to everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a great day.